Well, we're back on the topic of the brass cog for these ringfield motors. So this is one of 4 that I have to fix, and I've removed the original alloy cog because it was no longer a good fit with the shaft. So here is the replacement brass cog. Now the task is to get it on to that axle shaft, and that's a problem. I've tried very gently to get it on there by tapping it in. It's just too tight, and I don't want to be too forceful in case I damage that shaft, bend it or do something, and then I'm really screwed. So I asked around, as some of you may know, on YouTube for some assistance, ideas, and nobody really came up with anything other than maybe Andy Russel was pretty close, using a C-clamp and a nut from an old Triang R796, I think it was, the nut that holds down the wires. That just seems like a little bit of a handful. And I thought, well, what if I heat up the brass cog? It should expand. And my first thought was to get a blowtorch for like what a plumber would use and heat up that cog. But then, I think I don't have a little bit of asbestos to put the cog on while I'm heating it, because it take more than a minute or two to get it to the point where it'll expand. Having said that, I don't have a degree in physics, so I can't tell you at which point it would expand unless I went into a textbook or looked on the internet. Anyway, see, the thing is that, talking about expansion, the alloy cog, either cracked or just wore away on that axle, and that caused the cog to spin when power was applied, and all the gears would turn, but the wheels wouldn't turn because there was no engagement. Well, at least the cog was spinning, but there was not enough engagement to cause these smaller cogs to turn the wheels. So what I intend doing is going upstairs to the oven, put it on at 450 degrees, put this in for 15 or 20 minutes, get it out and stick it on there, and hopefully that will solve the problem. So wish me luck, and I'll be getting to it any minute. So the next step that we're going to take here is to take that brass cog and put it in our oven, and I've set the temperature at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 222 Celsius. In my limited knowledge of metallurgy, brass will melt at 1,000 degrees, so we're not going to get anywhere near that. And the beauty of it is that brass will return to its original volume once it's cooled back to the normal temperature, as in whatever it is right now. So what I'm going to do is put it on a tray and leave it in there for 15 minutes. I'm just guessing in terms of time, and I'll take it out, I'll drop it onto this piece of wood, and then I'll use my needle nose pliers to pick it up and try and put it on. So we'll just wait until the oven reaches 450, and then we'll start the process, and we'll get back to you then. Okay, so the oven is now at 450 degrees. The brass cog is on the tray, and going to put it in. And we'll set the timer for 15 minutes. And then we'll come back to it then. Okay, so the 15 minutes are over. Now I'm going to take the brass cog out of the oven. Now, I don't want to drop this because it'll be difficult to try and pick it up, so I'm going to have to be very careful. Here goes nothing. Having a little bit of difficulty getting it properly lined up. Maybe it's larger on one side than it is on the other. Yeah, this isn't easy. Let's see. Well, I got it on. Let's see if I can press it down. No. Applying a little bit of pressure here, but I'm not having any success. I'm not sure if it's the temperature is high enough to cause it to expand. I just yeah, it's very frustrating. Well, it's sitting on there, but I just can't get it to go in properly. So at this point, I have to say it's a fail, because it's on, but I just can't get it driven in. I may have to take a hammer to it at this point, but you know, I don't want it pushing out the axle on the other side, and then that just ruin everything. So I'm going to post this for your information, and you know, if I'm able to get it back on, I will follow up. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting, and you know, if you do have any input, I would appreciate you dropping a note. Knowledge is everything, and you may have more knowledge about this than I do. Anyway, remember to give me the big thumbs up. You know how it works, and we'll see you next time at Partickhill Station. Bye for now.